To our guests now. Last month, Long Lost Family returned for its 13th season as presenters Nicky Campbell and Davina McCall continue to help desperate people search for missing family members. And tonight, a special episode follows the extraordinary stories of two men, both born to unmarried mothers in Ireland, as they seek to learn the truth behind their real identities.
When Arthur started looking for the truth of his identity years later, he was hoping that the orphanage would have records of his birth parents.
They gave me very, very little answers. I arrived in May 1952. I attended the local school, and I left that school in September 1953. I would have thought that they would have had a lot more information. It became very, very frustrating. I just felt that children weren't... Sorry. Just upset.
Well, every time we watch that show, we need tissues, and this looks like no exception. Welcome, Nicky Campbell, everybody.
I need them too.
Yeah.
I need the tissues too. We were watching it the other night, and Tina, my wife, started crying. Then I started crying. Yeah. Then the dog started crying. It's just, oh my! But it's so empowering, isn't it?
So
life-affirming.
So life-affirming, poignant. I mean, everything. Heartwarming.
Yeah.
You know, when they find their families, sometimes it doesn't always work out the way they want. I mean,
but it does work out the way they want because they've got answers.
Yes, I suppose.
And kind of what happens next is well, it can go any way.
Yeah.
If you had questions about your life, all your life, and then those questions are answered, I think that's a massive step forward for anyone.
I mean, this is a special tonight at 9 o'clock, excuse me, ITV1 False Identity Special. So this is about Arthur and Bernard, two separate stories. Just give us the background, roughly.
Well, basically, I think it's an important programme tonight. It's incredibly powerful, but it's important because I think we've stumbled... Lots of people have been working on it, but I think as a programme in this country, we've stumbled on what is the tip of an iceberg, in that people's adoption certificates and fostering documents were destroyed because of, well, a number of factors. And they thought they were biological children, but they weren't. And then they find out later in life, which is, no matter how happy an adoption you've had, is a devastating thing. And I think it's... and also the stigma of being an unmarried mother as well, certainly in Ireland.
And they were from Ireland, so, and resonates actually with your own story, doesn't it? Your birth mother.
Well, to an extent, because my birth mother, Stella, was unmarried, and she was from Ireland, and she came over to Edinburgh to have her babies, two of us within 18 months, because, you know, she had to flee the scene of the crime. And so, so I was brought up in Edinburgh, born in Edinburgh. Thank you.
Did your adopted parents tell you that you were adopted? When did you find out that story?
Yeah, from the earliest age, because my mother was a psychiatric social worker. My mum, I mean, my adopted mum and dad, they're my mum and dad.
Yeah.
Because that was about love, and that was about, you know, looking after me, and they just are. They're both gone now. I think about them both every day. But she was a psychiatric social worker, so she was very much ahead of the time back in the 80s when I was born. And...
You didn't get away with it.
No.
I thought I might sneak that one in.
I was just nodding. Me too. I was fine.
What I want to ask you about the two men whose stories you're telling tonight, at what point in their lives did they begin to realise that they weren't living with their birth mothers?
Well, I think one got the sense of it and another found out afterwards. And to find out, you can always get the sense of it a little bit. You know, why do I look different? Why am I... Why do I think differently? Lots of little things. But I think that's why, to be able to help them... We've just had series 14 confirmed as well.
Wow.
We're doing another series.
I wondered, you know, we see these wonderful reunions on telly, and like you said, we're all crying, it's emotional. What about when people feel nothing and they feel detached and quite numb? Because, you know, having genetics and being blood relative doesn't automatically mean that you'll feel anything emotionally.
Yeah, it's an excellent question. I think Long Lost Family is self-selecting because the people, it means a lot to both of them. Because, A, people are looking and they've come to us, and the people they're looking for have said, we said, do you want to be on the television? We do a beautiful job here. And they said, yes. So it's self-selecting.
Yeah.
My own situation, I did feel a bit numb.
Right, okay.
Because I was there and I just, all of a sudden, I thought, I've got a mum and dad. But I found out, you know, and I got the answers.
So it's cathartic.
To the question.
Did you feel guilty for not having, you know, because I think we're led to believe, or you see in movies or you read in stories, there's an amazing moment and you come together and there are tears and hugs and you're like, oh, thank God I found you. Did you feel guilty that you didn't have that emotion?
A little bit, but I helped carry her coffin at her funeral, and we had a fulfilling relationship. It was good for her. It was good for me. I'll never forget the first thing she said to me when she came in. It was quite special. Because of my love for what she was talking about, it really means a lot, because I think you can judge a person by their attitude to animals. I really do. And the first thing she said to me was, and I love her for this, was, hello, 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 hello. Do you like dogs?
It's a good common ground.
Yeah.
Because it's actually sussing out what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
we
know.
love dogs.
Do you think men,
Oh, I love dogs.
Do you think men find the process harder than women? Of opening up and admitting I was adopted or I want to find my parents? Do you think men find the whole procedure harder than women?
I think to an extent they do, and sometimes it's harder for men to show their feelings, but I think it can mean so much, and it's so powerful when you see those feelings, and it's so liberating, I think, for the men as well, when they let those feelings flow. I do. I'm a terrible crier. I cry all the time at things. You know, the overture of The Sound of Music, I'm gone, you know?
What about some of our topics we were discussing? So we must ask Nicky that. We're talking about arguing. You know, do you argue? Do you have a special house, a room in the house where you argue? Mostly it's the
We do,
kitchen,
actually.
it
We
appears.
do have a special room. The kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, bedroom, the library. I don't have a library, but if we did, you know?
Do you think you're right, though?
No, it's not me. I'm just observing it.
You mean they all argue and you
Yeah,
don't?
well, I've got 4 daughters.
Yeah.
I've got 4 loose women, and there's 5 because that's my wife as well. The 5 of them, and I tell you what, it's like a roller coaster.
A lot of hormones.
But they'd look out for each other. I tell you what, and they've got my daughters have got this WhatsApp group with each other, and it's called Sisters by Birth, Friends by Choice.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's very nice.
Yeah, nice.
But you know that, don't you?
I do know that, yeah, not here.
Well, I think on that note, Colleen Nolan.
It was a joke before it's publicised.
She loves
I know
us
these
all.
days. Oh.
Long Lost Family False Identities special. That is tonight at 9 o'clock on ITV1. Always lovely to see you.
Thank
Come
you.
back anytime.
Thank you.
Looking forward to that. And good luck with Series 14.
Thank you.
Nicky Campbell, everybody.